So I didn't do an update video before shooting out, but I basically took the moped off to Suwehan Beach, which is the next bit, and just thought I'd take a quick capture because these little roads from the glamping place, just going kind of through the mountains, through the jungle, very broken roads and whatnot. It's quite fun. Google Maps, I love you, but sometimes you leave me on the garden path. The trail that it said just kind of goes on and on and on and on, and I'm basically down to nothing but a little dirt trail now, and I'm proper in jungle. And it tells me that I'm supposed to have taken a turn off, so I go back to where the place in the fork in the road is, and there's nothing there. Maybe just like a little beaten old pathway, like hiking trail type of thing, but certainly not like a road. So I'm gonna head back up. I'm also on red on petrol as well. I've been descending all the way as well, so I'm gonna be rinsing the petrol going back up all of this descent as well. So that'll be fun, but I passed through a little village centre a short while ago, so hopefully I'll make it there and I can top up on some petrol and hopefully get some directions as well. Petrol filled up. And apparently this trail is the way. One guy said it was 5 minutes, another guy said, oh, you can't go, you have to walk and hike. So whatever, we'll just go down until as far as that trail can sort of reasonably go, and then I'll take it from there, see where I get to. Let's give it a shot. Oh my God, this is absolutely nuts. So it turns out, I think that the trail I've gone down is like some alternate side trail which ultimately joins the actual main road to Suwehan. I've just emerged out of that, like that was an absolute nightmare road. It just went on and on and on, and literally I just crested this hill, the bike's spinning all over the place. I had to reverse and try it 3 or 4 times to get up this last steep stretch of just dirt road, and I'm like in a little scoopy scooter. It's not like I've got a dirt bike or anything, and then out of nowhere I suddenly emerge in like this little village on top of the hillcloth and on top of the hilltop, and there's a sign saying Suwehan Beach and everything. Look at that! I've arrived now, parked up the bike. This is the start of the path down. There's like stairs well paved. There looks like a bunch of sort of temples and things here. So not much to see here at the top. I'm just gonna get on these stairs and start going down. Kind of going down the big cliff face over here. It's quite a way down. You can see the shore and whatnot below, and the path has basically turned into steps, so just descending. That's basically roughly where we're descending down towards. There is a beach down there, can't quite see it from this angle. So there's literally a group of guys building the path right now, so not entirely sure what that means for what happens to the path beyond this point. It looks pretty precarious, so I'm going to tread carefully and see what happens. Good Lord. Not going to lie, I mean the steps themselves are still being formed, but they're all kind of nice and square, very precarious. You see they've got nice handrails in some areas here, but not on where the steps are currently being built. They haven't got that far yet. So it wasn't too bad, just take it nice and slow. And you kind of take some comfort in the fact that there's like 4 or 5 kind of old men just like walking around in bloody bare feet, casually, you know, just building the thing. So yeah, it's all good, slowly, and kind of get it down there. You know, it looks like it's pretty much finished, assuming that's the only section which is currently being created. So by the time, I guess, this place opens back up, and the masses start coming, assuming again that this is one of those popular beaches, that will all be done. Probably they will figure out what to do about this tree as well, which seems to have collapsed and taken out half of the pathway as well. So this was, in terms of the things which I kind of found, you know, talked about in the east of the island, there's obviously all of the bits and pieces that I spent a lot of time doing, like Atuh Beach, Diamond Beach, the Thousand Island and the tree houses and whatnot. And I think all of the above were definitely sort of worthwhile checking out, and they're all pretty close proximity to each other. The views are great, the rock formations are great, there's nice little beaches, etc. So the other place which I found sort of marked on the map is this one called Suwehan Beach. I'll double check that spelling.
Totally appreciate that I've made it here during what appears to be high tide, so there's not much beach visible. But that said, I feel like the return on investment over here in terms of the amount of hassle it took, even if I had got a more direct route, this is kind of like on its own. You have to make like a dedicated trip, minimum 30 minutes from any other part of like close by to get here. And then after that big long sort of hike down the stairs, you get to this little area and it's just not really worth it. It's pretty, it's nice. And I think if you want something which is totally kind of untouched, like there's no little shacks and stalls and all that here, then okay, sure, it's quite nice. And there's some lovely big rocks to sit on and meditate in seclusion. But to be honest, nothing that you can't really find elsewhere on a lot of the other beaches. Perhaps that might be a little different during peak time when it's busy. I don't think too many people will bother to come over here, so you could probably get like a nice quiet secluded spot if that was important to you. But as far as my experience goes, yeah, you know, it's not really a recommendation, but certainly glad that I came down here. And also, I can't find anywhere to take off the drone. There's this nice big rock over there in the distance. I'll zoom into it over there. And some of the photos that I have seen are going to be during low tide, when you can go out to the beach over there and get a shot with the sort of taller rock there. I'm not quite sure if I'm pointing at it or not. So that is the big rock, that one. And then the shot is a pretty much deserted beach, the beautiful kind of tropical waters, sands and that lovely rock formation. So I think that'll be nice. And I was going to send the drone out there to go and get it, but I can't find anywhere to take the drone off. And of course, you need like a little bit of a clearing with a flat surface to take it off. Sometimes, even if it lets you take off in certain locations, you can't land it again because of all the proximity sensors and whatnot. I haven't figured out how to turn them off yet. I'm just looking to see if I think I can make my way down towards that rock, just staying on the edges of the beach. I'll see if I can explore a little bit and then I'm going to head back. All right, I've very quickly made my way across the beach because I'm not sure if the tide's actually coming in or going out. I've just done this super quick because there are certain bits there where if it is going out, if it is coming in, then I'm stranded. So let's do this really quick. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save all the chit chat and just get the shot. The colours of these rocks are just beautiful. This or something like this is the shot that people come to this beach for. Unfortunately, I don't have the time or the space to be able to play with it because I'm borderline about to get stranded on this beach, which might make for a good video, but I have no idea what the outcome's going to be. Obviously, if this video gets posted, then I made it. All right, I'm being dramatic, but you know, here we go. That's the shot. I'm gonna make a run before I get stuck, mate. Not a happy bunny. Oh gosh, I tell you what, that was quite the experience. So when I left you, the last clip on the footage that I shot whilst I was actually down there on Suwehan Beach was, you know, a very quick and somewhat messy attempt to get like the shot that you go to that beach for. Never mind, I had to make a dash because I was watching the tide just creeping in, and it was high tide anyway, and it was kind of getting higher.
And when I looked at the waterline of the rocks, it literally comes all the way up to the cliffs. So I managed to get out there, and then as I was coming back on my return leg, I'm so glad I didn't stop to like do any more clips, because I was literally wading through water. And obviously it's not like I was walking on the nice sandy beach. In places it was, but it was like lots and lots of rocks, treading carefully. I've got my trainers on, I'm all mic'd up, I've got my camera equipment with me, so literally it was pretty close. I think the biggest risk was probably just like walking over the rocks and maybe, you know, destroying my camera equipment, which, you know, SD card full of like videos that I haven't transferred yet. Jeez. So I think one lesson learned there is like check the tide times, but you know, you have no way of knowing if the tide's going to completely wipe out the beach or if it or not. So that was fun. And then coming back up the steps, obviously it's always easier going up the steep ascent rather than coming down it, because you can kind of face the other direction and whatnot. And then all those workmen were still there, and they saw me like drenched, right? Trainers soaked, covered in sand. I'm sweating down completely, and there was 5, 6 of them. They're all sitting there, they've just finished work, chilling out. So they just said, come, you know, without speaking English, kind of motioned to me to come and like sit down. So they were all sitting there having like an after work drink and whatnot. So I just hung out with them on the edge of those steps for a little while, calmed the fuck down. And then completed the trip. Quite funny actually, because in the back of my head I was sitting there thinking, cool, if I actually do get stuck here, you know, I haven't got phone signal, these workmen have seen me come down, but are they going to come and look for me? Probably not. And I was kind of like looking for little spots like in the rocks, like where would I actually perch myself if I did get stuck or something like that. Oh, by the way, the other thing is as well, I came in on one route and it was a fucked up road. I do not come in through that route. And then when I got to the village, there was a bunch of cars there, so obviously there must be more passable roads. So I went back through the other route, which actually took me through some really nice coconut palm trees, and I kind of hung out with the coconut workers for a little bit. So actually, let's cut in a little bit of that footage. Coconuts, go. So many coconuts. These guys have just been doing the old coconut harvest, hanging on the old they find it hilarious. There we go, that is the lorry full of coconuts. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I think they find that absolutely hilarious. I think they're just wrapping up for the day's work, isn't it? That's a nice little piece of entertainment on the way home. So I did that with those coconut people for a little bit on the way back. But prior to that, whilst the road was passable, it was super fucking steep, very gravelly, and I came off the moped a good 2 or 3 times. I had to backtrack all the way down, park the motorbike, go and find my bag, which had flew off the motorbike at some point, and I was too busy trying to control the motorbike from flying off the edge of a mountain to care about my bag, let alone filming. So the super quick summary of Suwehan Beach is you have to really, I mean, you've got to really want that photo. You've got to really want that photo to like just go through all of that, you know, even if you complete the trip in a very comfortable way, it's still like a good hour out of the way of like the next closest thing, so you have to really want that photo. For me, not worth it, but certainly glad that I went on the little mini adventure. I wouldn't have been to the coconut fields if I hadn't. So anyways, hope you enjoyed that little adventure right there, and I'll see you soon.